Hi. Where is Scott? It's his birthday and he's not even here. It's his birthday week and he's not even here. Hi, everybody. Okay, we are doing something crazy today. And obviously, by we, I mean just me, because Scott is promising me this is the last show that he will miss for the rest of the year. But we both like to try to fill in for each other when the other one is out. So I am here, and we had a kind of a fun plan today that I'm going to try to execute by myself. So first of all, if you are watching for this first time, welcome to Drinks with Leaders. We are so honored to be sponsored by both Bestway internationally and Evardy construction. Both really care about Kansas City, and both give us this platform to highlight so many people in Kansas City. So here is the thing. We love highlighting people, and we are looking for more people to come on the show. We have had 750 plus guests over the past few years, but today we're going to do something called speed networking. So let me get it going here. In the comments, both on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, which is where we are posting to, we just put a link inside those comments. If you would like to come up and just tell everyone who you are real quick and chat, I would love to have you. Otherwise, I'm going to talk to this camera by myself for 30 minutes, and that's going to be awkward. But this is something that happens a lot over on TikTok. It happens a little bit on Facebook and on Instagram, but it's kind of a practice that has grown really big on TikTok. And on TikTok, you kind of see it more in like the dating realm of speed dating. And it's kind of the, Generation X's new way of like meeting people. They jump on live, they meet each other, they, exchange some information and then start messaging each other, and it goes from there. I thought, why not do this in a networking facility, right? Like on some sort of platform like this for networking. So I would love for you to jump on. All you have to do is click that link, that StreamYard link that I just put both on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. You're going to pop up in here. I'm going to pull you up, and I'm just going to ask you a couple quick questions about yourself. You never know who is watching this. So you might find someone that is looking to hire you, both in a job or business, if you're a consultant, if you're a coach, or you might find a new client, right? If you're in sales, this is a great platform to just jump on. So otherwise, you've got to hear me speak for 30 minutes. And nobody wants that with my loud voice. I think the only other person with a funnier voice than me is Patrick Mahomes. So Paul, how are you? Paul is here watching from, are you? No, you're just making that up. You were just making, Evardy construction truck, but you're just making that up. So last week, I really thought you were there. Were you making that up too? Paul, you should jump on the link and show everyone how we network here at Speed Networking. So if it's your first time here, this is nothing like what we usually do. We usually have two guests on, and you get to learn about people from Kansas City. We are always looking for great leaders to come on the show. So, oh my gosh, we have our first guest for Speed Networking. This is so fun, and I love this person. So, hi, Miss Katie Irvin, Dr. Katie Irvin.
Hi, this is so cool. I'm excited you're doing this.
Do you spend any time on TikTok? Have you ever seen it done on TikTok?
No, I haven't. I spent a little time on TikTok, but I haven't seen it done.
Oh, it's so fun. Okay, so we're just going to ask the regular Drinks with Leaders questions. So who are you, what do you do, and how do you get to Kansas City?
All right. Well, I am Dr. Katie Irvin, and I am the founder and CEO of Catalyst Development. We are a leadership skill building company. So we work with organizations and individuals on creating leaders at all different levels within your organization. How I got to Kansas City, crazy, is that I was in Huntsville, Alabama. I was starting my senior year in high school, and my grandparents lived in Prairie Village, needed help. And so I moved up here to be a caregiver for them. So came up, spent the year here, and then went down to Pittsburgh State for college.
And what do you do?
Oh, sorry. Well, tell us
more, because it's kind of more of an exciting story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is really cool. I'm so fortunate. We're 2 years old, Catalyst Development, and we work with organizations. So we go in and do long-term leadership development. So I tell people we're not consultants. There's a lot of lovely consultants out there, but we're true business partners. Like we come in and partner with your leadership team, your HR department, your training and development, to do leadership skill building. So we have a program called Leaders. And so it's, who are you as a leader? How do you engage better? How do you become more accepting? How do you develop strong teams? how do you be more effective, and then how do you be more resilient? And so there's 6 to 8 skills underneath each of those. And we do that in a year-long institute program. We also do that in a corporate setting where we'll come and spend 6 months with your team.
I love it. And you guys have been around for how long? Because you've grown really fast.
Well, yeah, we've been around 2 years. And it's, it's a roller coaster. You know this. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. It is, some days it's great, other days it's really hard. Seasons are hard. Right now with back to school, it's like we have so many irons in the fire, but nothing is like lit. And Jenna Scott, who works for me, we were just talking today, and it's like we're probably going to be really super busy in September, October, but right now it's really quiet because everyone's doing back to school stuff.
So you might learn that. I've learned that kind of with my business. I've been in business 8 years. I kind of know when our slow times are. So that's when I do a little bit more of my like personal stuff. Right. Yeah. So you guys are probably doing those numbers. And who is an ideal like target market client? Because we have a lot of people watching. And so they might be able to make introductions or referrals or stuff like that. Who's your ideal client?
Yeah. It's such a hard question because like the answer is anyone who really wants to do leadership skill building, but that's like everybody. So our kind of sweet spot client is 250 to about 700 employees because that allows for long-term engagement. We have some smaller clients. We have a nonprofit that has 40 employees. We also work with Honeywell and Whiteman Air Force Base that are so much bigger. So it just really depends on what the needs are. And we tell people we really will just do our sweet spot, which is our leadership development. If someone wants us to do, say, strategic planning or like review an HR handbook, because of my background, I can do that, but that's not what we do. We actually come in and do the work. So there's always pre-work to our sessions. We do our engagement sessions, and then there's homework. So you gotta do the work.
Okay, I have another question. Since you've been in business for 2 years, when was the point, because it's really scary to start a business. So when was the point in the past 2 years that you're like, wow, we're a real business?
I'm not sure every day we've gotten there.
But there's one big point where you're like, oh, this is working out.
I will say probably April 21st of 2023, when my book came out, was really the day that, it's funny when you start a business because people like you, but they still don't always understand your business. And so it's like, you got to get people to understand what you do. And so the day my book came out, Kansas City and really, all across the country showed up for me by buying the book, sharing our story. And that's kind of the day where it's like, oh, this just isn't something fun I'm doing on the side. Like, it's real, it's happening, it's tangible. And it's been a really cool experience.
Awesome. Okay. What's one other thing everyone should know about you?
Oh boy. I think most importantly, I am such a proud mama and wife. I have a 20 and 22-year-old. Love them both, my amazing husband, but really, so I carry my golf clubs in my car almost all the time, just in case an emergency, like 9 or 18 holes busts out. So you just never know when someone's like, you want to play golf? Yes, I do. So I always have my golf clubs in my car.
Do you give anybody lessons?
So I am a mentor for Driving Pursuits, which is an amazing program to get women on the golf course. And the cool part of being that mentor is being able to show women, like, you don't have to be good. Just go out and have fun. Like, there's a lot of men that go out on the golf course, no offense, they don't know what they're doing. And so they don't always behave ideally. And so I love to take women out and say, look, we pay this exact same price for a tee time. We deserve to be on the course just as much as the men do. Just be bold and get out there. And so I love taking women who've never picked up a club before, because as long as you're paying attention to pace of play, it doesn't matter. Just hit the ball and move on.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for coming up. You're literally the best. I really love that you broke the ice. So make sure, where can they purchase your book?
So you can purchase my book. You might be an a-hole, but it might not be your fault. Spell out the whole word. On Amazon, or you can go to katieirvin.com and all of our information is on there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming. Go connect with Katie. She's amazing. Thank you,
Yay.
Katie. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
Bye. See, it's that easy, guys. You can just come up here, answer a few quick questions, and make new connections. Dr. Katie Irvin is amazing. I've had the pleasure of knowing her for years and years and years. That was super exciting. I haven't got to talk to her in a while. So if you are thinking about clicking on that link, it is right now, if you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, it's right there. Just click on the link and come in. If you're thinking about it, do it. Do it. It's fun. I know it's a little scary to go live sometimes, but I promise you the scariest things are the things that get you the farthest, right? So we are doing speed networking. If you just jumped on, like Paul, you can comment and ask people questions, or you can just come up and I can ask you a couple questions and people can learn about your business. I kind of said this earlier, but if you're new here, this going live and popping in has gotten really popular on TikTok. And as you guys know, I kind of follow trends and stuff like that. I haven't seen it done on LinkedIn yet. So I wanted to try it on LinkedIn. Scott is out of town for a work trip. It is his birthday week, though. His birthday was on Sunday. And so if you do see him, make sure you tell him happy birthday. But I thought, well, this is a great time to do this. So come up here so that I'm not alone. If you're thinking about it, just click on that link that says StreamYard right there. Literally, you just click on it and it's going to put you on the you'll come in here and then I'll put you on the live. So I would love to learn more about you guys. We're only able to do this because of Bestway International and Evardy Construction, who are our two amazing, amazing sponsors. Sometimes they watch it. It looks like a lot of you guys are watching this. I'm trying to run the tech and do this. So I'm trying to see. I started talking to myself, but it looks like there's quite a few of you watching. So if you are watching, just click in. I would love to learn about you. Do go make sure that you connect with Dr. Katie Irvin. She was amazing. Paul, if you're on here, you should check in here. You're commenting every day. You're our #1 commenter. I just looked at our numbers for that. So let's see. What else? I'm going to have to talk to myself for 30 minutes. So you might as well come on up and talk to me so that you don't have to listen to this. Did anybody go to the preseason games the other day? I was in Vegas, but it's pretty exciting time to be in Kansas City. I was actually in Kansas City and I had some Kansas City stuff on, and I have never in my life been somewhere where everybody just knows where we're at now, right? Paul says he's having a bad hair day. Otherwise, he would link in. But now, earlier, Paul was watching from LinkedIn, and now he switched over to YouTube. That's if you switch over to Facebook, you're really going to make my day. Katie said, thanks for having me. Love to connect with you all. Yes, right here. Connect with Katie. That's perfect. Comment right here. Katie, thank you so much for coming up, because otherwise it's just the Aaron Folk show, which nobody wants to see, right? So Katie's been amazing to watch. I can't believe it's been 2 years since you launched your business. I believe Katie's been on the show before, but it's been a while. We've had over 700 guests on Drinks with Leaders. If you have not had a chance to be on Drinks with Leaders, today is your day to click in. I can see a lot of y'all watching. Are you guys just scared? Is it uncomfortable? My Aunt Rita told me today, here's just a fun little story. I did a TikTok. I spend 2 hours of my day every day figuring out what's changed online. And part of that is following trends, algorithms, that kind of stuff. So the first 2 hours from about 5 to 7 in the morning, I do that. And that's just how I'm able to keep my company ahead of all of the changes in my ever-changing world. And essentially what ended up happening is Bama Rush is a trend. So I did a TikTok about what my Aunt Rita, who lives in Alabama, said about Bama Rush. And so now TikTok, it went super viral. It has close to 500,000 views. And TikTok is asking to meet my Aunt Rita. So I've been telling her she has to get on TikTok. And today she said, not all of us can just jump on camera like you, Aaron. And I thought, why not? Why not? This is where you meet people. You're going to meet people you never have. Hi, Jerry. How are you, doll? And we love you, Jerry. Make sure you go connect with Jerry. Also an author. We have all sorts of authors today in here. We are doing speed networking. So if you are just jumping on, just click on that link and come up. I'm going to ask you just a few quick questions. I won't keep you forever. It's not scary. I promise. I'm really kind. And we just want to get to know you. We want to help you grow your network. We do introduce you to 2 new business owners every single week. But this week was just kind of a funny one because Scott was out of town. And usually we have Michael Mackey from my team on to co-host. And he had a lot going on. So we decided to do this. So make sure you're commenting so you can connect with people. Make sure that if you would love to come up, just click on the link and come on up. We would love to have you. we are just going to ask you a couple quick questions so that you can connect with your people. Big trend on TikTok that they do this. But you guys, Gen X is not scared. They're not scared. They just click on it and then it pops right up. I think you guys can do it. Just click on the link. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes and see if anybody comes up. Otherwise, we'll call it a success because we got one of the most bad. I got to be careful with my LinkedIn Live license. One of the best people I know, I was going to say bad A-word women in the whole city to come up. So I call that a win. But one of the coolest people in Dr. Katie Irving came up today. So we'll call that a win. But I'll do it for about 5 more minutes and we'll see if anyone else wants to come up for speed networking. Otherwise, maybe we'll try it again. Maybe it wouldn't be as weird if Scott was here and I wasn't talking to myself. Could you guys talk to yourself for 30 minutes unscripted online? Actually, let's do another thing. Comment. You don't have to come up. I'm not going to make you come up. Comment. What could you talk about for 30 minutes unprepared? If somebody were to say, hey, you got to go on this stage, or you got to go in front of this class, or you have to go online, what could you talk about for 30 minutes unprepared? We all have our skills. I usually say LinkedIn or personal branding. Those are my 2 answers whenever I'm asked that question. I bet Katie would say leadership. Paul, what would you talk about? Tell it and I'll pull up the comments. I love to see people's different skill sets. Once again, if you're new here, if you're watching from Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, let me know where you're watching from. And if you want to click that link and do speed networking, it would be awesome. Just come on up, tell everybody who you are and what you do, and get some followers, get some connections, get some relationships started going. Paul says, I could talk about antique beer signs for 13. Never. You're never serious. Jerry says students and trauma. Yes, and you are amazing at speaking of that. Please go connect. Please go connect with Jerry. Amazing, amazing. Katie says, how to grow as a leader. We all make mistakes in leadership, humility, and authenticity. I love that. And as I like to tell people I was a terrible leader at first. You know, I started my company and I had only ever managed salespeople. And so when I started my company, I didn't have any sort of idea of how to manage people where their job just didn't count on the numbers, right? And it took me a very long time to learn it. I've sat through since Katie started her business. Unfortunately, I haven't had that chance yet, but some of her talks beforehand, and she really does know what she's talking about. Jerry says she loves that, Katie. Loves that. Okay, we got 2 more minutes left. So this is the 2-minute countdown. If you want to come up, I will stay up more than 2 minutes if you want to come up, but just click that link. Otherwise, just tell me what you could talk about for 30 minutes unprovoked. If somebody just said, oh my God, I need you to fill in for 30 minutes. I think I could also at this point talk about TikTok. I'm doing a lot on TikTok. Let me show you guys something. You know, I got a lot of people that say, I need a side hustle. I need a side hustle. And then I got a lot of people that say, TikTok is not, why are we doing that? But those of you that are trying to grow coaching businesses, thought leader brands, stuff like that, I don't want you guys to underestimate. Remember I just told you I had the video go a little viral? TikTok is paying y'all. They're paying good too. So that's what I've made in about 4 days off a certain video. It's got qualified views, which are about half the views, 212,000. So they're paying me $1.32 per qualified views at this point. So don't underestimate TikTok. It's going to take a minute to go back and focus because I held that up. Don't underestimate TikTok. There's a great place there to make some money if you are starting to grow your personal brand. And obviously, I'm always here to answer questions about that. I don't know how this is going to zoom back in. How do we get that in? All right. We're right at the 20-minute mark. I now made my camera blurry. This has been an experience. Thank you so much, Bestway International, Evardy, for letting me do crazy stuff online. And thank you, Katie, for coming up. Thank you for everybody that tapped in the comments. I really, really appreciate it. And Scott will be back next week, and we will be back the exact same show. I'm going to figure out how to fix my camera. All right. Bye, guys. Have a great Tuesday.